21 years UNIKOM serves. Educate the nation.
Welcome to Universitas Komputer Indonesia. 15 best private universities in Indonesia according to Shimago in 2021. 20 best Indonesian private universities according to 4ISU in 2021. UNIKOM stands in the center of Bandung City on Dipati Ukur Street number 112 to 116, West Java, Indonesia. UNIKOM has an exclusive lobby design in the smart building. Serve students and prospective students both offline and online. UNIKOM has a public relation and protocol directorate that bridges internal to external communication. In BISCOM, which helps students and lecturers to develop entrepreneurships. PDSI, which manage UNIKOM's IT system with the help of data server facilities.
UNIKOM has 7 faculties, consisting of 28 study programs.
Electrical engineering, industrial engineering, regional and urban planning, visual communication design, interior design, informatics engineering, informatics management, information system, architecture engineering, computer system, computer engineering, computerized accounting, UNIKOM Library is on the 8th floor with a collection of more than 15,000 book titles, 38,000 copies, both from print and electronic media. On the next floor, there are communication science, international relation, governance science, finance and banking, marketing management, management, accounting, civil engineering, Law Science. Japanese Literature. English Literature. King Sejong Institute. UNIKOM has 3 master programs: Master in Information Systems, Master of Management, Master of Design. And here's the rector activities. UNIKOM has various internal activities to external activities such as ICOBES, International Conference on Business, Economic, Social Science, and Humanities. INCITES, International Conference on Informatics, Engineering, Science, and Technology. UNIKOM has several divisions to help to develop the potential of students. Code Labs Division, ERG Division, Robotic Division, Rocket Division, Animation Division, As a support, UNIKOM has UNIKOM TV. UNIKOM Kreasi Media, Hits UNIKOM Radio, UNIKOM is a champion campus, has various national to international achievements. The International Champion of InnoSurf 2020, the International Champion of InnoSurf Contest 2018, 2015, and 2013. First Champion International Huion Art Contest 2020. Top 2 the International Champion of Pablo Art Contest 2020. First Champion International Web Technologies of Virtual Skills Competition 2020. The International Champion of Paku Bumi Open Championship 2020, 2019, and 2018. World Champion in ICT 2019, Kazan, Russia. The Chicken Soul application from Code Labs won the Merit Award APICTA 2019 in Vietnam. The champion of International Robot Contest, the annual 14 RoboGames 2018. The champion of International Robot Contest 2016, 2015, and 2012. International Competition of Microsoft 2015. Champion of World Skills Competition 2013. The Asia's first champion of Multimedia Animation Competition, Asia Graph Revolution Award 2017. First Champion Gemasa 2017. First Champion World Skills Asia 2018. The Champion of Asia Pacific ICT Award APICTA 2018 and 2012. The 16th Asia Pacific ICT Award APICTA 2016. First Champion and Runner-Up Asian International Hackathon 2021. Champion of Hackathon 2018. Asian Skills Competition 2018. Champion of Asian Skills Competition 2016, 2014, and 2012. The winner of Startup Asian Awards AICTA 2018. Number 1. The highest copyright university is in Indonesia, Ministry of Law and Human Rights 2020. First Champion National of Innovation 2020. First Champion of National Digital Content Identic 2020. Number 1 National Champion of Identic 2020. Rifest. First Champion of the National Imagine Cup and became Indonesia's representative at the Imagine Cup Asia Regional 2020 in Singapore. National Champion of Gemastic 2020 and 2016. Top 10 National in 2 categories, Interface Design and User Experience and Software Gemastic 2017. National Champions of Badminton Competition Day 2020. 1 gold and 1 silver medal. UNIKOM won for a 6th time in the Students' League Lima Badminton 2020. Champion of Badminton Lima WJC 2018. National Champion of Kotasi 2020. National Champion of Taekwondo Jabar Open 2020. National Champion of Jabar Karate Championship 2020. National Champion of Canon Semarang Photo Marathon 2020. National Champion of Animation Indonesia Revolution Award 2019. UNIKOM won West Java Innovation Award West Java's Culture and Tourism 2018. National Champion of ICT TBIG Creation 2018. The National Champion of Indonesia ICT Award in AICTA 2015, 2014, and 2013. First and second champion for category of software and the first champion for category of animation and games in West Java Apps 2018 competition. Champions of Co-Creation Startup 2018. Champion of Hackathon Startup 2018. Champion of Hackathon IWIC 2016. First National Champion of Internet of Things Technology Development ITB 2017. The second National Champion of Technofest 2017. First National Champion of Line Creativate 2017. National Champion of Rocket Contest 2019. 2017. 2016. 2015. 2014 and 2010. National Champion of Electronic Design Contest 2016. National Champion of Confest 9 2016. National Champion of Microsoft 2016. National Champion of Microsoft Word Citizenship Category 2015. National Champion of Microsoft Word Innovation Category 2015. National Champion of Indosat Wireless Innovation Contest 2016. National Champion of PIMNAS 2015. National Champion of Telkom Smart Campus TESCA 2014, 2013, and 2009. Indonesia Best School of Management 2013 and 2015 Private University Swamedia. Indonesia Best Private University Swamedia 2013. Let's join us, Campus of the Champions. UNIKOM, quality is our tradition.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, as well as fellow participants. Thank you for participating, of course, and welcome to the first International Student Conference on Engineering and Environmental Research in 2022. Starting the conference, we are going to sing the national anthem of Indonesia Raya and March of UNIKOM.
Indonesia tanah airku, tanah tumpah darahku. Di sanalah aku berdiri, jadi pandu ibuku. Indonesia kebangsaanku, bangsa dan tanah airku, marilah kita berseru, Indonesia bersatu. Hiduplah tanahku, hiduplah negeriku, bangsaku, rakyatku semuanya. Bangunlah jiwanya, bangunlah badannya, untuk Indonesia Raya. Indonesia Raya, merdeka, merdeka, tanahku, negeriku yang kucinta. Indonesia Raya, merdeka, merdeka, hiduplah Indonesia Raya. cinta, Indonesia Raya merdeka, merdeka, hiduplah Indonesia Raya. Universitas Komputer Indonesia dengan langkah tegak berjalan menuju arah yang terdepan, unggul dalam ilmu pengetahuan. Universitas Komputer Indonesia tingkatkan sumber daya manusia untuk kepentingan bangsa. Demi Indonesia kita tercinta, tak goyah, tak gentar, menembus tantangan. UNIKOM maju berjaya, menyala di dada semangat membara. UNIKOM jaya selamanya. Universitas Komputer Indonesia tingkatkan sumber daya manusia untuk kepentingan bangsa. Demi Indonesia kita tercinta.
Dear attentive audiences, history is in the making. We are now stepping into the first international student conference held by Universitas Komputer Indonesia, today at the 11th of August 2022. Of course, highest appreciation is addressed to the committee who has made everything possible for today's conference. We would like to extend our highest admirations to respectable Rector of Universitas Komputer Indonesia, Professor Dr. Haji Edi Suryanto Sugoto MT, for his endless support to this conference. Similarly, our appreciation also goes to Vice Rectors and Deans, as well as the professors in Universitas Komputer Indonesia for their support. Our highest gratitude, of course, is also addressed to our distinguished keynote speakers for today's conference, who are committed to share their perspective in today's conference. We are more than happy to have our keynote speakers for today's conference, Associate Professor Dr. Abdul Karim Mahdi Al-Obaidi from Taylor's University, Malaysia, and Irfan Dwiguna Sumitra, PhD from Universitas Komputer Indonesia. And of course, last but not least, our appreciations is also addressed to all fellow participants for your shared commitment in today's conference. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to our next agenda, the speech from the conference chair, Dr. Poni Sukaisih Kurniati. The screen is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning to our distinguished guests, college, researchers, and our beloved students. I am pleased and honored to welcome you to the first Isceer 2022. I would like to particularly extend a warm welcome to the Rector of UNIKOM, Professor Dr. Insinyur Haji Edi Suryanto Sugoto MT, and all of the top management of UNIKOM, distinguished guests, our honorable keynote speakers, and all participants for joining Isceer 2022. Also, I'd like to extend my appreciation to the organizing committee who have contributed magnificently to the conference success. The theme of the first Isceer is empowering students' research in engineering and environmental science facing COVID-19 post-pandemic recovery condition. We expect that this conference will enable students to share the research with the national and international research community and engage in discussion about the issues relating to the research and or practice in the fields of engineering and environmental research. In closing, we sincerely hope that Isceer can become a platform for increased knowledge, share experiences, and broadening students' perspective on the fields of engineering and environmental research. And I wish everyone a successful and fruitful conference. Thank you. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to our next agenda is the opening speech and conference official inaugurations to be conducted by Andreas Darmadi, PhD, the Director of Students Affairs of Universitas Komputer Indonesia. The screen is yours.
Thank you very much, Pak Tantan. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan, salam sehat untuk kita semua. Sampurasun. Good morning, respectable rectors, vice rectors, the deans, distinguished keynote speakers, professors, colleagues, lecturers, researchers, all participants, and of course, our beloved students. It is an honor and a great pleasure for me to welcome you to the first International Student Conference on Engineering and Environmental Research, Isceer 2022. The purpose of this conference is to improve research and publications quality for students and lecturers, especially in UNIKOM. And for this first Isceer 2022, take a theme empowering students' research in engineering and environmental science facing COVID-19 post-pandemic recovery conditions. And to discuss this theme, we have two outstanding keynote speakers, Associate Professor Dr. Abdul Karim Mahdi Albaidi from Malaysia. Good morning, Professor Abdul Karim. And of course, our beloved colleague, Pak Irfan Dwiguna, PhD. Thank you very much to all keynote speakers for the willingness to share the knowledge. Yeah, we hope that the COVID-19 pandemic is completely gone, and we have to focus on recovering from the impact of this pandemic. And through this conference, it is hoped that students will be able to improve their abilities in researching and making publication. On these occasions, I would like to express my highest appreciation to all committee who have successfully held this conference. And finally, on behalf of Rector Universitas Komputer Indonesia, allow me to open this conference. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and most merciful, I declare that the first International Student Conference on Engineering and Environmental Research, Isceer 2022, with the theme, Empowering Student Research in Engineering and Environmental Science Facing COVID-19 Post-Pandemic Recovery Condition, is officially open. I wish you have a productive conference and interesting discussions. Thank you very much. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the smoothness of the conference, we are going to have prayer recitation to be conducted by Muhammad Arya Rajasa. The screen is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen and all participants, let us pray according to our own belief. And please allow me to guide this prayer according to Islamic belief. A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Hamdan yuwafi ni'amahu wa yukafi'u mazidah. Ya Rabbana, lakal hamdu kama yanbaghi li jalali wajhikal karim wa azimi sultanik. Wa lakal hamdu bil Islam, wa lakal hamdu bil iman, wa lakal hamdu bil Qur'an, wa lakal hamdu bil qiyam, wa lakal hamdu bil khusyu', wa lakal hamdu bis sabr. Ya Rabbana, lakal hamdu kama yanbaghi li jalali wajhikal karim wa azimi sultanik. Oh Allah, all praise to you for all the blessing and guidance you gave us so we can attend and carry out this International Student Conference ISCEER 2022. Oh Allah, please make this international conference as a worthy conference in order to increase our scientific insight, in order to increase our brotherhood, and to motivate our life to be consistent in the way of your truth. Oh Allah, please give us health, strength, and ability so we can attend and carry out the duty and responsibility given to us. Oh Allah, Ya Rahman, you are the most merciful. Please forgive our sins, forgive our parents, forgive our teacher, our leader, and please forgive all of the Muslim. Please fill our heart with your love and make our iman strong. Oh Allah, and with the knowledge you give us, please provide us the ability to help the poor and the needy people. You are our God, none is worthy of worship, but you, Rabbana, taqabbal minna, innaka antas sami'ul alim, wa tub alaina, innaka antat tawwabur rahim. Rabbana, atina fid dunya hasanah, wa fil akhirati hasanah, wa qina azabannar, wa qina azabannar, wa qina azabannar. Wa adkhilnal jannata ma'al abrar, ya aziz ya ghaffar, ya rabbal alamin. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are one step closer to our main agenda. But before that, we are going to have a documentation session. And therefore, I would like to invite all participants, hundreds of participants, to turn on the camera. Here I have 8 screens. So I would like to ask all the participants to turn on the camera, and I will try to guide the 8 screens documentation, and the committee will take the documentation. Okay, with this one post, U stands for UNIKOM. Okay, stands for UNIKOM. U. Okay, the first screen. Okay, first screen. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and then the second screen. 1, 2, 3. Okay, third screen. Okay, and then the fourth screen. And then the fifth screen, the sixth screen, the seventh screen, and last, the 8th screen. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your participation. Now we are moving on to our main agenda, of course, the plenary sessions from our distinguished keynote speakers. Okay, I need to give you hints, all participants here, that there will be a reward for the best question. So prepare your best question to this session. And I will not chair this session, but this session will be chaired by my distinguished colleague, Dr. Salman Priyajimartana. The screen and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Tawami. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Salman Priyajimartana, and I will moderate this session of the seminar for the next 2 hours from now. We have 2 distinguished keynote speakers. First of all, Professor Abdul Karim Mahdi Al-Obaidi from Malaysia, and Dr. Irfan Dwiguna Sumitra from Indonesia. Actually, Pak Tawami, I like your word. The history is in the making. So we are going to make this history today by sharing with these outstanding keynote speakers. We go first with Pak Abdul Karim Mahdi Al-Obaidi, PhD. He's a chartered engineer and associate professor at the School of Engineering, Taylor's University. It's a private university, #1 in Malaysia, and he has more than 24 years teaching experience and more than also 15 years industrial experience in research and development of subsonic and supersonic aircraft and missiles. He is also the editor-in-chief of the Journal of Engineering, Science and Technology, JESTEC, Scopus Index Journal. His current scholarly activities focus on aerodynamics of supersonic flying bodies, thermal fluid, heat transfer, and also engineering education. Good morning, Professor Al-Obaidi.
Good morning.
What's going out there?
Morning, Dr. Salman Martana.
Professor Al-Obaidi,
Yes,
you have 45 minutes to present, and I'll be your timekeeper. I'll hand over the screen for you now.
thank you very much. Thank you. So let me first share my screen. I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yes. It's clear.
Clear, sir.
Okay, right. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan selamat pagi. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for inviting me to this conference, first conference, okay, for students. And also this is the invitation, I guess, the third time, okay. I really feel honored to be part of the success of this conference. And I really happy that that UNIKOM actually made this conference, especially for the students, okay, to encourage them to do the research, okay, even before the graduation. And this is really a very good opportunity for them, for the students. Please do not miss this opportunity and try to publish paper even before graduation to reflect all what you have learned in the past years, okay, in form of a research paper. This is, of course, not easy task, but definitely such conference will help you guys to have early experience so that when you graduate or later, when you probably want to proceed with your study as master and PhD, at least you have experience and want actually to use, okay, or apply this experience. So well done, UNIKOM. I'm very happy that you have this conference, and I hope that this conference will sustain every year, okay? Why I say sustain? Because my topic today is mainly about the sustainability, all right? So the title of this presentation, the role of ICT in achieving the SDGs, or Sustainable Development Goals, which I believe is related to the theme of this conference. And my presentation will highlight, okay, how the information and communication technology, or shortly ICT, can help accelerate achieving of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals by year 2030. Means we have now 8 years, okay, before achieving this goal, okay, set by United Nations. Right, so I guess I will skip this slide because Dr. Martana actually already introduced me to save the time. All right, so just to add that Taylor University now is the first private university in Malaysia, and it is also #1, okay, private university in South Asia for 3 consecutive years. All right, so let's go for the presentation. All right, so first I want to talk about the sustainability. All right, so what actually the sustainability means, how we define the sustainability. Right? Actually, there is no specific definition for the stability. And it's also difficult to agree on one definition which say that this is the definition of the system. Why? Because actually in the literature and over the time, the definition actually is changing. And one of the widely agreed, okay, own definition is that sustainability is a societal goal that broadly aims for humans to safely coexist on planet, which is our Earth, over a long time, right? So here we can see that there are actually three important area, or I would say pillars, are included in this definition. And these, as you can see here, are the social, environment, and economic. So the intersection of all these three areas actually give the term sustainability or the sustainable. All right. So as I mentioned, the definition is not always the same. If you check the literature, you can find actually different definition, right? But if, for example, we take this in form of green or eco-centric practice, okay, which actually, again, I say it does not cover this word completely, right? And among other definitions, for example, by Gordon and Dixon, they mention that a sustainable society is broadly a culture or population which can continue to create and function given its current state, its rules and laws, and the activities of the populace. So as you can see, if you compare this definition with the first one, you can see actually the common terms, okay, or the pillars of the sustainability. Another example is development, okay, that meets the need of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. And this is really very important when we are working, okay, as engineer or lecturers or industry, okay, we have a certain limit or a certain resources, okay, and we actually want to use these resources not for us at the moment, but we need to think about the future for our generation, next generation. If we consume everything now, what we leave for other generation, how they can live. So to summarize this definition of sustainability, I would say in simple word that sustainability means meeting our own needs without compromising the ability of future generation to be or to meet their own need, right? So this actually, I wanted to start the presentation so that the students and the participants actually to have ahead some awareness about the meaning of the sustainability. Now, we know in September 2015, the United Nations General Assembly adopted the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals, or shortly SDG, as which I will use it, I use this abbreviation, right? And they're actually inside 169 targets internationally agreed upon in that agenda. Means the countries actually met and found to have sustainable development, we need to meet this 17th goal, okay, by 2023, right? So here, this set of goals, actually, as I mentioned, can be categorized according to the pillars, okay, or the sectors. Some people call it main sectors of sustainability. Namely, here we have the society, okay, for example, no poverty, zero hunger, okay, good health and well-being, quality education. We have also equality, okay, gender equality, green with sustainations, okay, and so on. So this is the first pillar. The second pillar, or sector is the economy, okay, where actually we look at the infrastructure, we look at the reduce inequalities, okay, and so on. And the last one is the environment, okay, including, for example, climate action, life underwater, and life on Earth, okay. By the way, this categorization, actually, it has some meaning, because we cannot keep our environment, okay, for living on the Earth without having good economy. And we cannot actually have good economy if we don't consider the society and the factors which help us to achieve sustainable economy, okay, so that we can actually live in our environment safely and sustainable way, right? So it is known actually that the information and communication technology, all right, form the backbone of today's digital economy and have enormous potential to fast, forward progress on the sustainable development goals and improve, of course, ultimately, improve the people's lives in fundamental way. For example, here, His Excellency Majid says, ICTs are the main accelerator and people voice. So what I mean by, what he means actually by people voice, for example, the academic institution, industry, political leaders, and in general public must be included, indicating that different departments play an important role in achieving the sustainable development. So as you can see from here, this is actually the entrance to the ICT, okay, to learn or to know, which is my main theme of this presentation, what is the role of ICT in achieving the SDGs. Okay, so if we have a look at the ICT revolution, okay, which I put here as the information age, okay, you see we started, for example, in late 1940s with the huge size of computers, okay, we call it first vacuum tube computers, where the valves, big valves, okay, very high heat, okay, and so on, computer. Then we know that we are moving toward digitization. Then in 1947, the transistor is invented. Then the size becomes smaller, okay, and less problem with heating. And after this, in 1958, we actually had the integrated circuits, okay? Like, for example, in 1940, if I have a big room, okay, with a huge size of computer, now it becomes a very, very small chip, okay? We call it integrated circuit. So this is a big, actually a big progress in this ICT revolution. Okay, 13 years later, Jack Kilby created the first IC. Intel created microprocessor. That was in 1971. And in 1993, PDA's personal nodes, okay, introduced. In 1996, mini computers, okay, introduced by Nokia. Then in 1999, appeared the first ebook reader, and in 2010, actually, we had our Apple iPad. Okay, so here for this history, actually, we can say that, for example, the ICT actually helped to achieve the SDGA. It is important to understand what okay, or how this you see the achievement in ICT, okay, and how the technology evolved through these years from 1940s and until now, okay, and all this indicate that the ICT can really play a very pivotal role in achieving the sustainable development. Okay, for example, as a history, when Nokia introduced the first phone that has internet capability, that was in 1996, it started actually the revolution of devices such as smart portable and computers. Okay, then actually here since then the technology has evolved rapidly, uncovering more than one technique, such as digital signaling, robotics, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and remote sensing. Right. So this development, okay, from this development, okay, we can see the growth of ICT. So this slide shows, okay, the growth of the exponential actually growth of computing power, okay, which play a very important role in developing new devices and also helping to make the people's lives better, right? So here, for example, the graph represent, as I mentioned, the exponential growth of computing power, and it shows the law of accelerating change and anticipates the computers, okay, will exceed human intelligence in the future. Okay, so if, for example, computers are getting so much smarter, okay, so incredibly fast, there might convincingly actually come a moment when they are capable of something comparable to human intelligence. Means we can make the computer feels like human. And as we know, that more specifically, we can see this in what is called artificial intelligence. So in the near future, human takes in the future, a human task actually can be simply replaced with robots, such as driving cars, writing books, okay, making ethical decisions, okay, and so on, right? So we have seen this exponential growth, and given that fast growth of computer, okay, power, we can observe that ICT-based services will be the main accelerator to achieving the SDGs. And to offer a deep transformation of the world economy and society by the targeted date, which is 20 or year, which is 2030. Okay. Of course, here this requires different departments such as government, okay, universities, and the private sector to work together and contribute their experience, expertise, resources to achieve sustainable goals such as reducing poverty, hunger, etc. Okay, through smart technology such as artificial intelligence. Okay, and actually, this conference can be considered as a contribution to achieve that goal. Okay, through the universities. Now, the example I show in this slide is about the artificial intelligence. Okay, to what extent AI may impact, okay, all aspects of sustainable development. Okay, artificial intelligence, okay, has been used, okay, commercially since the mid of 1990s to assist in variety of decision-making tasks, like, for example, fraud detection, and it has actually accelerated rapidly, as I showed previously, since around 2010. Okay, according to Grand View, as you can see here in this slide, okay, Grand View research, the global artificial intelligence market was estimated at 39.9, approximately 40 billion in 2019, and is projected to grow at a compound annual growth rate, okay, of 42.2% from 2020 to 2027. Okay, so here we can actually conclude that in the global attempts, okay, of achieving sustainability, and more notably meeting the UN SDGs, okay, artificial intelligence is a very powerful tool towards a circular economy and more sustainable living. Okay, so here, as you can see, is the term circular economy. I leave this to the students actually to check what is economy and how can be actually used to contribute in achieving the sustainable development. Right. So now, please let's take a closer look, okay, at how artificial intelligence can have an impact on the three main pillars or sectors of the SDGs. Okay. Now, can I ask students, okay, do you remember what are these pillars? Three pillars. Can someone tell me? One is what? Students? Question? Anyone? What are the three pillars? Number one is what? Hello, do you hear me? Dr. Martana?
Perhaps they're just shy, Professor.
Okay, or actually they are muted, right? They cannot talk, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I can see in the chat here something. No, it is not answer. Anyway, all right. So just to remind, okay, the three pillars of sustainable development are society, economy, and environment. Now let's have a closer look. Okay, what is the role of AI? Okay, in specific pillar, right? So start first with okay, with society. Okay, and we can see here these are the goals. Okay, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, and 16. Right. So here the role is, for example, is smart and low carbon cities. Okay, is achieved, for example, by introducing the electrical autonomous vehicles and smart appliances. Okay, and for example, total electricity demand, we know, is always increasing, and this actually for ICT could require up to 20% of the global electricity demand, okay, by 2030, from around 1% today. Okay, so therefore more efficient cooling system for data centers, broader energy efficiency, and renewable energy usage in ICT will all play actually a role in containing the electricity demand growth. So this, for example, one part where we can look at the role of AI in achieving this pillar, which is the society. Okay. Also, we can consider prevent poverty. Okay. For example, AI can identify areas of poverty using satellite images, right, to act quickly, right, and also to have like poverty map, clear poverty map, okay, globally, and then, for example, countries will focus on these areas to reduce the poverty, okay. Also, IA here can play a very important role, which is currently using, which is about the health. Okay, so this is, for example, is for another goal. Okay, so here we know that we have actually the artificial intelligence-based systems such as disease identification developed by researchers at the universities of Heidelberg and Stanford University, using heart rate sensor data to detect early symptoms of diabetes. Okay, also artificial intelligence model using algorithm and the detecting breast cancer at a higher rate than 11 pathologists in one study, and so on. So we can actually give more and more examples. Okay, so these are just samples of how the artificial intelligence can contribute in this particular pillar. Okay, next we have the economy. So for the economy, okay, we can actually see the contribution, okay, in terms, for example, again, please, I take one example, is like reducing inequality, okay? So reducing inequality is essential to accomplish the SDGs, right? By identifying the sources of inequality and conflict using simulation to predict human behavior and assess virtual society. Of course, here we need to be careful of the data collected, because sometimes actually we can have inherent bias in the data. So this is one way, for example, we can, the artificial intelligence can contribute in reducing inequality. Right? Next is the environment. Of course, here environment, the contribution is very broad. Okay, in terms of like climate change, ocean health, healthy air, water issues, and so on. Okay, as you can see here, the contribution, okay, in the environment, okay, 13, 14, 15, all right? Like, for example, climate change, we have smart sensors and meters to collect data and monitor, analyze, and optimize energy usage in building. Okay, this is to address the climate change, because we know using green technology can help to reduce the global warming and CO2 problem. Okay, in ocean health, okay, we have the powered robots, okay, which can be used to monitor ocean conditions such as pollution levels, temperature, and pH. Right? In case of healthy air, also air purifiers with artificial can record air quality and environmental data in real time and adapt the filtration efficiency. So the data we collect can help to actually engineers to develop better, okay, technology to address the contamination and the pollution in the air. Okay, water issues also is one sector. Okay, where, for example, artificial intelligence to project water usage in specific geographical areas. Okay, weather forecast to make informed policy decision and predict droughts, because unfortunately, you know, the problem the world now is facing are really a huge problem. And it's really indicate why achieving the sustainable development goals is very, very crucial and important for our lives. Okay, you definitely hear news about the problems now in increasing the temperature in Europe, right? The problem of food security, right, because of the war and so on. So all this actually, if you look right at these problems, you see they all can actually put in a frame of challenges to address if, for example, we achieve the sustainable development. Okay, and lastly here, for example, among other examples, a weather forecast and disaster resilience. Okay, so move on to next slide. All right, so having the role of sustainability, the role of ICT or artificial intelligence and intelligence to be more specific, right? Having in mind, right, that the pivotal role of ICT in achieving SDGs that we just now mentioned, okay, many countries are now transitioning into the digital era, okay, where digital technologies are rapidly transforming societies and economies and contributing to achievement of SDGs. Okay, so this actually is a very important step. Some countries I will share with you, okay, their contribution already contributed. Okay, there are some countries actually achieving very, very high rate, okay, in achieving the sustainable development, okay, in achieving the SDGs. Dr. How much time I have yet?
Still plenty of time, sir.
Sorry?
Still plenty of time. You have until 10:15. 10:15 of our time.
10:15. Okay, so it means I have
25 minutes.
Yeah, 25 minutes. Okay, thank you. All right, just to check. Okay, right. Now, I said that the transition, okay, to digital era by some countries, okay, will help also to achieve the sustainable development goals set by UN. Okay, so let's have a closer look how we can actually have some data, okay, or some statistics, right? How the countries actually are ranked in digitally enabled sustainable world. Okay, there are actually there are 49 countries, okay, made a good contribution in that effort of achievement of sustainable development goals. Okay, so here we, as I said, we can see 49 countries and how they rank in a digitally enabled sustainable world. So by the way, these results are based on a report by Huawei, okay, in 2018. 2018 means now we are in 2020, so definitely means we have different ranking, definitely, right? But in general, we can say in terms of top ranking for sustainable development goals achievement. We have in the first place Germany, followed by United Kingdom and Sweden. So these are the top ranking countries in achieving the sustainable development. In terms of ICT ranking, okay, the top ranking for ICT, first place is South Korea, okay, is one of the leading countries, followed by Switzerland and Denmark. All right, so we can also have another example, okay, which I call it up and comers, right? And this is the United Arab Emirates, okay, UAE. So specifically regarding the role of some countries in achieving the SDGs, okay, I take this example, okay, to show and share with you, okay? So the United Arab Emirates actually ranked number 33 in achieving the, as you can see here, number 33 in achieving the Sustainable Development Goal. And they are also achieved the 19th rank in ICT. Okay, so what they are doing now, okay, just an example, okay, of achieving the sustainability, okay. So with here, actually, you can see that cities like Abu Dhabi and Dubai, okay, they actually excel in SDG 9, which is industry, innovation, and infrastructure, right? And here, of course, many of the other countries in the benchmark perform poorly, right? Unfortunately, okay. So this actually one of the achievement done by UAE, okay, because actually here the development, okay, started by the announcement, okay, by Sheikh Mohammed, okay, who launched the Dubai 3D printing strategy. That was in April 2016. Okay, so here actually you can see, right, the achievement of SDG 9. Okay, Dubai's key goal is to ensure that 25% of the buildings in Dubai are based on 3D printing technology, all right, by the year 2030, right? So this actually promotes the status of UAE, okay, and Dubai as leading hubs, okay, of 3D printing technology by the year 2030. So this is another example, okay, globally. I already showed you the 49 countries based on 2016, the year actually by Huawei report, okay. And now another example, specifically the United Arab Nation, right? So again in this report, okay, which is called Accelerating SDGs, okay, in year 2016, okay, the report actually revealed that 3 main SDGs have the highest positive correlation with ICTs. Means these are 3 main sustainable development goals, which are closely, okay, to be achieved by ICTs, okay? So these are, number 1, SDG 4, quality education, very important, 73%. SDG 3, which is good health and well-being, 71%, close to SDG 4. And SDG 9, okay, is about industry, innovation, and infrastructure, 65%. So here, actually, I want to talk a bit, okay, about the quality education. Quality education, right? You know, please, that quality education is very important to achieve, and the institution of higher learning are responsible for this, right? And when we talk about achieving the sustainable development goals, okay, the universities, okay, play very important role to achieve this. How? Okay, we know that when we deliver our teaching to the students, okay, our classes, our lab, our experiments, and so on, we guys need here to embed this, you know, culture in our curriculum. Okay, means actually here we need to know how specific, for example, module learning outcome, how this module learning outcome address, okay, one of these sustainable development goals. Okay, so this is actually, I can put it in form of quality education. Quality education. I give you example from my universities. Now the new instructions, okay, in my university says that every module or subject, okay, as you know, it has a certain learning outcome. Okay, we call this module learning outcome. Okay, so for each learning outcome, okay, we need, okay, to say which SDG, okay, this learning outcome addresses. And therefore, now our curriculum actually are changed, make some changes, okay, to include this in that module or other modules. Okay, so now even the project we give to the students, actually we need to say which, okay, sustainable development goal this project is addressing, right? So if the universities actually follow this from now, okay, they not only actually achieving or contributing in achieving the sustainable development, but also, this is most importantly, will have a generation, means a graduate in the future, who are, let's say, born, okay, I say born means in terms of their education, right? Born, okay, on the mentality of, or the concern, how actually how I can contribute to meet the sustainable development goals. And this is, as I mentioned from the beginning, it is addressing the society, economy, and environment. So when the students on the graduate, okay, from the beginning, I think even at the lower level of education, like even primary school or secondary school, we need actually to embed this in the teaching, right? So that when, for example, after some years, like let's say by 2030, maybe Malaysia or Indonesia or other countries, okay, they couldn't achieve the goals by 2030, but at least they have generation who are aware, okay, about this, okay? And at the end of the day, this is for them and for a future, okay? When we do this, we don't do this for us, okay? We do also for future generation, and this is the term of sustainability, okay? So that's why actually here, I wanted to deliver this message during this presentation, okay, to make the universities, okay, specifically UNIKOM, actually to be aware of this, and hope that the leader, the top management, look at this important aspect, which of course will mean that they will have high quality students, okay, and of course this at the end of the day will help to improve the ranking of the university, right? So now I ask a question here, right? You look at this slide, right? this is an empty slide, and I put Indonesia. Okay, why I put here blank slide? Is this because I don't have to say here? I do, right? But I actually intentionally put this, okay, slide empty, right? And ask, how about Indonesia? What has been done to achieve the sustainable goal, sustainable development goals, okay? Right? What so far has been achieved towards achieving this 17th goal? Does the education can help to accelerate this goal, right? I mean, in Indonesia, how can the institutions of higher learning and even, as I mentioned, the primary and secondary schools help in achieving this goal by 2030, right? So I said that because of all these questions, I intentionally left this slide blank. Why? Number one, of course, due to the time constraint, okay, I cannot actually cover this. I know there is some achievement, okay? And number two, this is for our students and probably for the lecturers, okay? Two, I actually want to propose an opportunity to the students and the lecturers and the leaders, okay, in UNIKOM, right? Or other universities to have a look at how can ICT help to accelerate achieving the sustainable development goals and what has been achieved and what is planned to achieve. So this, please, can be a good study, can be a good research paper, can be actually, you know, a plan, okay, future plan for UNIKOM, because UNIKOM is all about computer, right? Mainly about computer, although you have engineering program. But let's say it is closely related to ICT. That's why actually I wanted to highlight this. Okay, so I would like here to conclude my presentation, okay, by the following two statements, right? So sustainable development goals are still 8 years ahead, but without technology, these sustainable development goals may not be achieved as hard, right? As artificial intelligence actually re-emerged through the fourth industrial revolution, there's a hope that this technology can deliver big contribution to developed and developing countries, right, in pursuing the sustainable development goals in time, okay? So please, my last message, consider this, okay? Consider this. As I told you here, for example, my university, we already started to embed this in our curriculum and projects and master and PhD studies and so on. Okay, so please look at this. And as I told you, this will not only achieve the sustainable development goals, but this will also grow the population or let's say the UNIKOM actually ranking and reputation. Okay, with this I end my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention and listening.
Thank you, Professor Al-Baidi. What a fruitful presentation. I guess that within near future, we will experience the jump of the AI,
Yes.
AI environment, something we can only see before in some sci-fi movies, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you, Professor.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Salmon.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we will jump to the second keynote. Dr. Irfan Dwi Guna Sumitra. But before we go with Dr. Irfan, I must remind you that if you have a question to deliver to those keynote speakers of ours, please write down your question in a link provided by the committee. Okay, Dr. Irfan Dwi Guna Sumitra, PhD, is the head of Department of Information Engineering, Faculty of Engineering and Computer Science, Universitas Komputer Indonesia, Bandung. He is also a lecturer in the postgraduate information system at the same university. He received his PhD in Nanjing University of Information Science and Technology in China in 2017 with a concentration in wireless sensor networks, enterprise architecture, as well as Internet of Things. Nowadays, he is working on a research project in collaboration with UITM and UUM Malaysia. He also supervised the final project for diploma, undergraduate, and postgraduate students. Without further delay, please, Dr. Sumitra, the screen is yours for the next 45 minutes, and I'll be also your timekeeper.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Martana. I appreciate your introduction. It's great to be speaking with all of you. Let me share my slide.
Yes, Dr. Sumitra, I've seen your presentation clearly.
Okay,
Please continue.
moment I will solve this slide. Okay, actually, my presentation today is I want to talk about the industrial Internet of Things as a final project research for students. Why I choose this title because I see in during the pandemics, many students they have chance, they face the problem how to finish their study because they have to make some project and they have to publish, as the professor the current said, they have to publication. So this is maybe the way to the student to solve the problem. Okay, my presentation actually will consist of the four section. The first, I would like to talk about what is the industrial Internet of Things, and the second, I also want to say about the history of industrial Internet of Things, and thirdly, I just want to show the application and also the challenges when we want to implement Internet of Things in industrial, and the last, this is the example of students design project on the industrial Internet of Things. And in the next slide, I just want to engage the audience because the audience is come from the teacher, the student, also the college of this university. I just want to go back to the history that the basic of the industry is come from the Internet of Things as well as. So if we want to talk about the industry, we have to understand what the Internet of Things was like. Actually, the Internet of Things is introduced many years ago, and if we go back to the history, the man, one of man, said that Internet of Things is, he say he is the Nikola Tesla. He is the scientist and also the inventor during his period. So the Nikola Tesla said that when the wireless is perfectly applied to the whole Earth, will be converted into the huge brain, and which in fact it is or thing being particle a real and rhythmic world. It means that maybe she predict that in the future the people can connect with each other using their devices, their devices, and they can communicate and also exchange the information between those devices. And I also that the Internet of Things also they can connect it between the object to utilize the internet, also make some intelligence collaboration with each other in anywhere at any time is borderless. They don't have any border. They don't have any space. They remove everything. So we can do some information. We can exchange the information, and we use the sensor actually, and also internet, and also cloud computing, and also as many computer communication infrastructure as well. So Nikola Tesla said like that in 1926. And on the other hand, the Business Week, the editor of the Business Week magazine said that in the next century, the planet Earth will use the internet as scaffold to support and transmit its sensation. The skin is already being stitched together and consists of millions of embedded electronic measuring devices. This means it's 23 years ago, actually, when just 4% of the world population was online. In the 1999, just 4% in the population of the world, the people is just they connected to the online, because maybe in my age it's still I don't know how to use the computer, how to computer this, how this computer can connect each other and they can chit chat and others. Now and maybe the Negros he was right. Today in 2022, almost 63 and 1%, the world total population is connected. As you can see, 4% in 1999 to 63.1% in this year. It's very huge grow up. It's very huge. Many things are ready to connect it, because if we is equal with the 44 billion devices is connected, and it's around 18% globally in the world. So Negros said that in 1999 just 40%, and now around 63% is already connected. It's very huge devices, because I think in the 2030 maybe it's more over the population. The devices connected in the world is more over the population in the world. So if we talk about the top 10 IoT application areas, as you can see on that figure, the manufacturing industry has the takeover the top spot from the smart city, because the smart city actually is the top first in 2018, but now in 2020, when the report has been launching, the manufacturer or industrial they take over the first number. This is according to the analytic IoT segment in around 23%. The technology giant companies such as Microsoft, and then Intel, and then Siemens, and then Amazon Web Service, Alibaba Cloud, and another industrial automation players such as Rockwell is among driving force to the digital transformation to industry. They just focus how to make the efficiency to production line how to make the efficiency in labor, how to make the efficiency and energy and so on. So I think in the future, actually, how to replace, how to exchange the manpower, the workflows with the machine. And we consider also that the transportation and mobility they place the second trend, because we just know the IoT also they have it utilized to the transportation. They just know the energy, they just know how much fuel we already spend. They just also know when we want to maintenance our car, our machine, and they just also know how to the direction, the tracking with the mobility of the machine also, or the transportation also. And the third place, this is about the energy, because I think the IoT application also they focus on the energy, because maybe Professor Abdul Karim said that the main concern of the SGB is how to make the energy efficiency. I agree with that statement, because we know in the next generation, maybe we have to make the saving of the energy, we have to change the energy consumption, we have to thinking how to not use fuel again from the oil and also the gas, and we change with the sustainable energy such as the sun, such as the water, such as the wind, and also another energy alternatives. So I think the application of IoT in 2022 is not make different with the 2 years ago. Now we can move to another slide. This is I just want to engage our audience. This is the evolution of the IoT, because if we talk about the IoT, actually we have in the level of the fourth evolution, but the first evolution of IoT, I think, or just industrial evolution. This is almost same. It's based on the mechanical equipment which are driven by water and steam power, because in that area on this years, many in the community or society they just depend on their job or their living by being the labors on some factories. And also in the first evolution, they incorporated mechanical innovation like the steam engine, loom, and cotton spin, because I think this year is really hard how to moving from the farming to the industry or to the factory, because the some society they just spend time how to fulfill they need it every day, but now they change the works as from the farmer to the laborers. And the two evolution, this is focused on the electricity, such as the light bulb, telephone, structure, house, and the assembly line. And the in the third evolution, this is focused on the automation, focused on the computer, focused on the mainframe computer, focused on the programmable logic control, as well as focused on the SCADA machine or SCADA microcontroller, like that. And the last evolution, this is the talk about the cloud computing, industrial IoT, and also developing how to the significant advance in the high performance, how to make some machine low power processing, low power memories, and communication component that enable efficient during the processing and also the networking. And this is the enterprise IoT market during the 2019 to 2027. As you can see in the figure, that the enterprise IoT is growing around 22.5 4%. You can see in the 2021, they just spent about the only 115 totally from the IoT security, IoT hardware, IoT safety, other software. So they spend maybe like the result. And also I see the relationship between the percentage of Professor Abdul Karim with mine is totally about the sustainable the development goal is to figure out also that the have the improvement, have the enhance from this year to the predictive in the 2027. So I think this is the also the big opportunity of chance to us how to make IoT more friendly, IoT more commercialized, IoT more easy to build, easy to manufacture. Because if we can see, we have some problem during the pandemic. They have many lack of the chipset. Then also we have the inflation. Another challenge also we have the some microprocessor problem because political issue during between the China and Taiwan. No, so I think this is we have to consider if we want to make our life is easier, make our life is safety, make our life is more comfortable. We have to maybe need some help, need some assist from these devices, how to monitor, how to more productive, and so on. And then, if we can see, this is the I just want to introduce about the industrial IoT. What is the industrial IoT? The industrial IoT is the subset of the IoT evolution. As I mentioned in the evolution of IoT, the industrial IoT is focused maybe the progress from the third evolution to the fourth evolution. It means that the effort how to make the industrial IoT can be implemented in the factories. We have to change some the paradigm, change to mindset that this is talk about the smart manufacturing. The industrial development they have to support the smart manufacturing. And then the industrial also have to focus and also have to take in industrial 4.0 strategy. And how to communicate between these devices, between this machine, because this not only machine to machine connectivity, but this is also how to operate this machine from the long place, how to monitor this machine from the control room, maybe in the different ways. And also the last, the effort how to make it happen in industry, we have to talk about the factors of the future. This is mean that the initiative, the adoption of IoT in industry with the goal of increasing the flexibility and productivity. And while the reduction production costs, and this developing concept is termed as industrial IoT. So how to make efficiency, as I said, how to make the more efficient to production line, how to spend as little money to buy some machine in the future, because I think not easy to if we buy the machine every year. This is not like the IT devices you can buy in the e-commerce, but for the machine industrial, it's not easy because we have to contact our supplier in the abroad to and maybe also have to collaborate with other factors. This is the indicator between the different IoT and the IoT. as you can see in this diagram, the focus to the IoT just to protect the personal data and access. Otherwise, the IoT just how to prevent the process interruption and safety. Because as I said, the industry we have to make secure the people they work in this field. Maybe they come to the factory, they come on site to the field, and they interact directly the machine. We have to make the secure, have to make the safety of the safety of their life in the labor, in the factories. So the industrial IoT have to make sure, have to make the guarantees if they come to they didn't make the broken, they didn't make the some failure of the machine. And the second character is the priority. The IoT is totally different with the industrial IoT. In the IoT, the first priority is how to confidentiality, how to protect privacy data in the IoT devices. This is the first concern in the IoT. How to protect the privacy of the data in the IoT devices. And then the second priority in the IoT, this is the integrity, how to look over the data contained within the devices. So because we connected the devices among devices, maybe just more one devices, maybe perhaps in 100 or 10 or 100 devices connected to each other. So we have to make these devices they can sure they can communicate, they can connect it. And then the third priority is availability. It means that how to access of the devices in anywhere and everywhere. As I mean, we have now the border. We can access when we want to see, when we want to monitor, we want to know the data in the real time. And in the industrial IoT, this is like opposite with the industry thing, because the first focus, like the first priority in industrial IoT is how to make the data availability. Because as I said, when this broken and stop the production, it's make lost money. They can make the, I think we can show that the machine didn't stop during the production. So if I want to monitor the machine, they have to send me the data of this machine. If I want to know how many production, they have to send me the data of the production. This is the industrial IoT reality. And the third characteristic is to talk about the devices value implications. In IoT, if one device is not working well, if this device is stopped, it didn't have the impact. Because, for example, I have my CCTV at my home, and in the same time, if the CCTV is not working because maybe the turn off of the electricity is okay. It's not have the critical consequences. Maybe during this CCTV off, I can see the video or the image, but this cannot happen in the industrial IoT. The devices value implication, they have the high potential physical threat. It means maybe in the long period, this machine is not give the benefit from the factor. We have to thinking how to replace, how to maintain, how to repair this machine. And I can also, if this happen in the factory, is have the big impact on production, we have to stop our production. If we stop our production, we have to make some line of this supply chains management is not working. We have to make the some labor not to come to the factory because the machine is not working. This is the I think this is the big problem for the owner or for the management in the factories. And the reaction to treat in the IoT maybe little simple. We just shut down and remediation again because no need take time to shut down and turn on the device again. But in the industrial IoT, if the reaction happens to the grid, we have to thinking about the maintenance of the operation. We have to thinking the schedule when the maintenance of the operation will be takes the time, and also how to solve the maintenance of the operation because it's not easy. As I said, it's not easy to suspend or to postpone the line production. And for the upgrade and the patch management, this is for in IoT is possible during operation time, no reason for significant delay. But in the IoT, industrial IoT especially, need to be scheduled and performed during downtime because we have to calculate how many days, how long they need to upgrade. And what happens if this upgrade is take the long time, it's take the more and over the time. So as I said before, we maybe the loss of the asset, the loss of the cost, and we have to spend many costs to just to solve the problem like this. And the life cycle of the device is frequently upgrade of equipment because this is the small devices, this is the small thing of Internet of Things. So we can buy maybe not only one, or we can buy in the e-commerce maybe more than one, so we can have the backup of these devices. But if we talk about industrial IoT, as I said, the long lifespan of devices is more over 15 years. So it's not easy to install. It's not easy also to build the industrial IoT. So we have to make sure that the devices, such as the PLC, such as the SCADA, we have to make sure that devices can working or can operate more than 15 years. And the condition of the deployment, wait a moment, I want to sure. The condition of the deployment is the regular condition. We can put the devices in the IoT in the place what we want to monitor, what we want to know the situation. But in the industrial IoT, we have to thinking because in the factory, in the industry, it's not the easy way, it's not the easy condition how to put the equipment because the environment of the industry is very harsh. The high temperature, high pressure, the high pressure, maybe some also dirty. So we have to thinking where we want to place the equipment in industrial IoT. And then this is the IoT smart factories. If we want to conduct it, if we want to implement, if we want to build the smart factories, we have to thinking again because we have to find layers. The first layer is consist about the how to reduce the lead time. In the business value layer, we have to thinking of how to reduce the lead time, how to reduce the downtime, how to reduce the labor, how many labors, how many workforce we need in one department, and how many energies we have to spend during the line production, and how to reduce the waste, because maybe the negative impact of the industry we have the big issue in pollution. So the industrial IoT we have to measure how many pollution can we overcome, can we recycle again in the future, because the impact, if we just throw it in the another place, we have to thinking that the impact of this pollution maybe can disrupt the environment, maybe can disrupt the water, the air, and another healthy of the society. So the industry they have to make sure we can measure, or we can know the level of the cost we produce. And the second layer is talk about the IoT application. This layer is consists to the energy efficiency, consist also with the predictive maintenance. As I can say, that we have the many machine. We have to know when the machine have to schedule to the maintenance, where the machine have to operate, where the machine have to providing the data, the ability to predict the machine failures, and how to reduce the maintenance issue. And then another concern on IoT application is about the data acquisition. In this part, we have to show the process of measuring and also the analyzing various electricity and also physical entities like voltage, like temperature, like humidity, like pressure, and so on. In this data acquisition, maybe we collect many data from the machine. And the third layer is talk about the third data analytical. This is mean we have many collected data that we start from the application IoT, such as data and big data storage. We have to thinking, is the storage infrastructure that is designed and also proper to collect the infrastructure that designed especially to store, to manage, to retrieve the massive amounts of data or big data. And in the big intelligence, the business intelligence, just we have to know that every data is can use in the future to predict, to also to know about the where the business is profit for the factory, where the business is benefit for the industry, because we have to know that the machine learning to use in the business intelligence is can discover the insight, and also we need also to pioneer the pattern, pioneer the business model, how to discover the relationship between the data. And AI and machine learning, they can predict what we need to running the factors. And the predictive and prescriptive data analytical is talk about the forecast potential future outcomes. when the perspective analysis help us to draw specific recommendation. And the fourth layer is talk about the industrial IoT platform. This is such as the messaging, the authorization, and authentication, like the security, and also the edge analytical, edge data historian, and IoT platform manager. This means the how to change the message between equipment. The authorized and authentication is the important component in cybersecurity, and whether the consumer implements the enterprise or hundreds of the IoT devices that can track and monitor the lifestyle workflow and resource. And the IoT Edge platform provides containers, module, and also the runtime to execute action locally and also the cloud-based in the equipment, and can be the interface to monitor and also the management the equipment. And the last layer is just talk about the shop floor and IoT devices. This is such as like the industrial, robotic, forklift truck, and also conveyor belt, and also the arm robotic, and also the RFID devices, and so on, that can help the operator to monitor by their smart tablet or smartphone. And this is the industrial 4.0 strategy. As I mentioned, maybe Dr. Professor Karim said that the first SGD is occupied by the German, because I think the initiative in German that target to bring the IoT technology to the manufacturing and production sector. We also know many industrial manufacturers in German have to spread out around the world, like the car manufacturers, aeroplane manufacturers, is come from the German. This is why they initiated the industrial strategy 4.0, because they have to make the high quality of their product. They just want to keep the low cost production. So its impact to the industrial cyber physical system, how to higher level of automation that enable mass customized manufacturing and production of goods and services. So we have to standard, we have to qualify to make sure that the cyber physical system can guarantee that our production line or our produce have the high quality, and also the flexibility in the ICPS by the easy programming, and also easy to configurable and easy to controllable manufacturing lines. As I see, we can mobile put the devices, and the devices can mobile, and we can move to other devices with the maybe with the sense instruction and the same program like that. And this is the challenge actually in the industrial IoT. This is like one scenario happened when we talk about the industrial IoT. This is almost similar the scenario with the Internet of Things, actually the IoT. The interaction is almost similar. The scenario is also almost similar. When this is why I think about this, because this is the important aspect of the IoT based system. It's run through the pipeline, because we have the big machine, we have the pipeline, we have the more power, we have more workforce. So we have to ensure that this line is not injection with the anomalous or the failures trip. So it runs the pipelines from the source to consumption. It includes the data authorization, the encryption, the authentication, the user management, firewall, and also the cloud computing. As illustrated in this figure, we have three types of the interaction related to the industrial IoT devices or industrial IoT system. The first interaction is come from the eavesdrop. Then the eavesdrop will intercept the data traffic between the real sensor with the server, the real server. Actually, the eavesdrop, they didn't change the information. They just listen the information. They just how to know the information. They didn't alter the data. Right? So, but the impact, the result of what they got the data, they will buy or they will sell the data to the report, to our report. Because they know the information, the important information from the sensor, the real sensor to the real server. They will sell the information to our report. So another problem in the industrial IoT is the device square. They put the fake devices. These fake devices is behavior like the real devices. So they will intercept. They will result the wrong data. Then this connected to the physical world, to the vectors. So if we want to take some decision making, we make from the wrong decision making. So maybe we want to take some policy, or we want to take some action from the field. Maybe we can make the wrong decision because the data comes from the fake devices. The devices was correct. Another problem in the interaction for the IoT system is fake server. We store the real data to the fake server. It's not belong to us. This server is not in our place. And we don't know if they have the shadow server. So maybe the attacker they put in their server and we send real time the data to their server. Not belong to us server. Right? This is the challenge, but in the next slide, I also will conclude with some challenge that faced by the industrial IoT. It's not about security, but security is the one important we have to consider if we want to implement, if we want to make the smart factories. Like. And then the industrial internet, this is the heterogeneous devices are required to communicate. As we can see, this is also the challenge in the industrial Internet of Things because we have many kind the devices, and these devices is come from the different brand. It's come from the different producer. So how to make the devices, how to make the machine is can communicate. In the normal mode, we use IP versus 6 for LAN and 1 and if the factory is small, but if the factory is large, maybe in the different cities. For example, we have the main factory and we have also the branch factory, and between this factory they implement the industrial IoT, and between this factory also they want to know the condition of each other. So we have maybe to use the map, metropolitan area network. And when we talk about the industrial internet, we have to consider that this technology will connect it machine to machine communication. It's not interfere with the people. We can join to operate this machine because this machine can communicate automatically. We just to monitor, we just to compare the result of this machine to machine and our perspective as a human. And also we have to talk about the SCADA, right? The human machine interface and industrial data analytics. And the focus in industrial internet is a cybersecurity system, supervisory control, and data acquisition. And this is possible to use the wireless communication in the field. Because as I said, is it not same with the IoT in common? Because, for example, if I want to make the smart home, I just connected my IoT devices to my router at home. But in the factories, we have many interference, like a signal. We can use cable because, as I said, if we have the large factories or the large industry, it's not possible to use cable. Or if we have the communication, maybe we have the wireless communication, not use the short range. Maybe we can choose to use the long range communication.
Dr. Sumitra, you have 5 minutes left. Thank you.
Really? It's too fast, my time. Thank you, Dr. Martana. But perhaps I can finish my presentation to the end of my presentation. And this is the factory of the future. If we have the factory of the future, I can divide into the three kinds: the shared factory, connected factory, and virtual factory. Because as we see, if we have to make sure, maybe they cannot come directly to the on-site factories. They just use the virtual reality. They just use the simulation of this factory. This is similar in the real factory. Maybe in our country, I don't know. In my opinion, I don't know if our industry has the feature, have the technologies to use the virtual factories. Perhaps in the future, I think if we want to train the operator to introduce the new technology to the operator, we can use the virtual factory rather than the real factories, because as I said, it's very hard to come directly to the factories. I said this is the complexity of the communication in industrial automation system. Maybe I can skip this part because I already mentioned in the previous. And this is the application of the industrial IoT. Some application we can implement or we can utilize in the power distribution network, like the electrical network, wind, solar, and hydro plant. And also we can use the industrial IoT to the electricity production, because we have to more consumption in electricity to distributed and consumption process. And the other application we can implement the industrial in water distribution. Maybe in our country is like the PDAM, right? We can use how to make the water efficiency can distribute it to the house and also to the customer. And the other application we can implement the industrial IoT is more important in the oil and gas distribution network. But perhaps maybe we have the offshore and also the onshore, offshore in the overseas and the onshore in the land. If we want to know and we want to distribute it between the offshore to the onshore, we have to know and have to tracking the line, the pipeline. And the another application in industrial IoT is transportation, the operation and management of traffic light and toll payment, etc. I think for this one we are ready to use in daily life. This is the IoT challenge. As I said, we have the interoperability, scalability, flexibility, security, energy efficiency, and adaptability. Maybe all of you, the student can find this definition of this IoT challenge. And I want to share with you about the student design project. This project is belong to my student, and I also assist by another teacher about this project as a final project in industrial IoT. The example of the project is the real project. This is I also collaborate with the gambung tea plantation. So the students have the task to finish the process of how to produce the green tea process. So I have a team, and I divide the team according their concern about how to solve and how to make sure the process, each process in this machine is from the start to the end, they can guarantee the quality of the tea or the green tea because it's different. I also just to know that it's different how to produce the green tea, black tea, or the white tea. So they have to make sure this the temperature, they have to make sure the humidity of the lid of the tea. Because if it's over or below, the quality of the tea will problem. So the first machine is called with the rotary panel. The second machine called with the rotary pulling. The third machine is roller, how to how to move and make the ball of the tea. And the next machine is the ECP, endless change pressure. This is the dry first stage in how to make tea is reduce the water. And the last machine is called it the boil tea. The boil tea is the dry step 2 or the dry step 2 before we packaging the tea. And this is the gambung mass balance green tea production. As I said, to make the green tea, we have to keep the temperature. The main focus, the main parameter to get the high quality of the green tea, we have to make sure the pressure is suitable for every step or every machine. So my student, they make some design, they 3D design how to know how this machine works, right? And also to do this, they also supervised directly by the manager operator field, Mr. Sugeng in Gambu. He helped really much to the student. So he give the advice, he give his insight and his experience about the feed processing machine. And this is the process, the machine. And this is the big machine and very logic. If I ever come to this factory and very logic. And this is the example student project. As I said, for my part, I supervise 2 students. One student talk about the rotary, one student finish the rotary panel, and the another focus on the bulky. This is the rotary panel. We have 2 cylinders, and this cylinder they will flow with the high temperature and also the gas pressure to lower the machine with conveyor belt. And the student also put some sensor in this machine, how to detect the rotor, how to detect the temperature, and how to detect the speed of the conveyor belt. Okay, and this is the system architecture in the Baltic. I use the student use the Raspberry Pi and also the Arduino Uno as a microcontroller, and they utilize some sensor such as the HP and Max and MX. This is the sensor placement as proposed system. The sensor put around surrounding the machine, and how to keep the sensor is not melt with the overheating of the machine. And this is the web application that conducted and still progress. I think this is the problem we have. We still have the problem because as I said, in the fact that they don't have any routers, we have to provide by ourselves. So we choose to how to get the data from these devices. So this is the dashboard. We make the threshold between the below and the upper of the humidity and also the temperature. And this is the result. I think this is still not correct result because the time is not show the right time, because the student forget to utilize the real time clock or RTC. So the time will be reset when we took off the device. But for the temperature and humidity, this show the result is correct. I think this is also the next project, because as I said, we have the big data. Time by time, the data will be huge, and amount of data will be we have to maintain and we have to analyze. So this is the problem. If we can detect the early sign of the failure, what we have to do to solve the problem. So we can compare the real data, the expected data, and the data come from the expertise of the operator, of the manager field. And this is the invariant analysis. We have massive amount of sensor data as temperature, humidity, like that, and we extraction of invariant relationship among sensor data, and the result they will learning the data, and they will make the automation operation of model representative the normal operation of the system, and the expertise, what the C of the expertise and what the result of the data is almost similar. So we can make the some decision making of this data. And then how do we how do we change the internet model, the real-time monitoring model. And in the end of my conclusion, by saying that the opportunity for the pilot project in the industrial IoT field is still wide open. I still encourage my students how to finish their pilot project as a compulsory subject during 4 years in the department. And the many industry offer the student to join internship program. And Merdeka Belajar Kampus Merdeka. As we know that this year our ministry and also 2 years ago they offered the student to choose the Merdeka Belajar Kampus Merdeka. And interdisciplinary understand to the IoT system such as security, machine learning, and artificial and so forth. In the department, informatics department, we have 5 concern to interdiscipline. So the student they can choose what they concern during the study. They can choose the information system. They can choose the data, and also they can choose the infrastructure. They can choose the web and mobile programming, or the last they can choose another like the computer science. So I think to solve the problem of the industrial IoT, we have to collaborate interdisciplinary. So maybe that's the end of my presentation, Dr. Matana. I will give it to you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sumitra. What a fruitful presentation of yours. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to jump into question and answer session. And, Dr. Sumitra and Professor Al-Obaidi, please stay there because I have tons of questions addressed to you. Actually, we are going to start with 2 questions from the list, and we will continue after that with the live question from you. So, just in case you want to deliver your question in live, please, after this, use the feature of raise hand in your Zoom application. So, first question is addressed to...
Someone is raising his hand.
First question is addressed to Associate Professor Abdul Karim Al-Obaidi. The question is, in your presentation, which says that ICT become main enabler to achieve 17 SDGs, which require many or massive IT investment, we are looking for your ideas or your opinion how to encourage many stakeholders, including government, to invest highly in IT infrastructure. We got many good programmers, good human resources in Indonesia, but many ICT infrastructure is not taking consideration thoroughly. Thank you. This question is from Aditya Erlangga. Please, Professor Obaidi.
Thank you. All right. So here the issue is the issue is how to engage, right, the industry, right, and other stakeholder, okay, including the government, to invest highly. I would say I actually don't like the word highly because we are not look very high now, right? We need to do this step by step. Okay, so question here is say that how to engage, right? The question of the government, for example, invest highly in IT infrastructure, right? So we got many good programmers, okay, good human resource in Indonesia, but many ICT infrastructure is not taking consideration thoroughly, correct? So my actually understand to this question and the answer is the first step is important is to engage these people, okay, in like some educational program or meetings or discussion, okay, on about the importance of the SDGs. This is the first step, because you know, Dr. Salmon, when you want to engage someone, okay, you want to show him why you want to engage him, correct? So if for example, you show him first why, and of course, you know, investor want to have some revenue at the end of the day, right? Yes, there must be a balance between the sustainability and revenue, right? I actually cannot get revenue on the expense of sustainability. Means, for example, I can do something which give me more money, but at the same time, it is not sustainable. Means it is just a solution for the instantaneous problem, right? So if we actually educate these people, and I repeat, educate these people by engaging them and saying that this, what we are doing is not for us. It is for you, for the environment, for the planet, okay? So if you want to sustain your business, okay, is actually good if you go this way, right? So this way, actually, I think we do the first step to engage them. And definitely, as I mentioned, when you tell them, this is what we want from you, and this what will benefit you, okay, at the moment and in the future. In this case, again, we talk about sustainability. This is my answer to the person who asked. If it's not clear, he or she can ask again.
I think it's crystal clear, Professor.
Thank you very much.
Second question addressed to Dr. Sumitra. This is from Fani in Architecture. How can we apply the factories of the future and smart manufacturing in the countries of low development ICT, where internet speed is low and the digital culture hasn't developed yet, and the AI seems so far away? Dr. Sumitra, please.
Okay, thank you for the, I think this is a good question. How we can face, we can implement the smart factories when our surrounding is not support the factories. As I said in my presentation, we have the challenge because we have to admit that our structure is not good. We still develop the structure, maybe in the future, maybe in the next year again, we make sure that the structure is ready to how to. I think the most important, the communication, because I don't know, our country is they provide the 5G communication, or we have in the 4G communication, because how to make sure how to make the communication is fast, we have to shoot the infrastructure first. But I think this is the challenge, how to change the conventional factory to the smart factories, because we have the culture. Don't forget, we have the culture of our society. If we are ready to, then we ready to change the people with the machine. I think also another problem, because the smart factory, maybe they will eliminate the people interaction. We can monitor from the other side. We can monitor from the other place. If we want to thinking, we have to ask ourselves, did we ready to change the people with the machine? If the people, they have the skill more over the machine, maybe we can survive. But if the people is below to understand or if they below the skill, then maybe they will replace the machine. Because I think this is the impact also from the industrial 4.0. It's not like the society 4.0 how the machine and people they working together. But in industry, it is smart factories. If you want to this have the intelligence or the factories can more efficient, maybe we can reduce the labor. So I think the infrastructure problem plus the challenge the interoperability, the challenge is the adaptability, the challenge is the energy efficiency. We still spend many power consumption how to produce the factories. When the others they thinking about the sustainable energy, we still use the oil, the gas, the fuel to the make a production. I think I just want to give the question again to the answer. The respond. Did we ready to change or to replace the people? Right. My opinion. This is just my opinion. But
what you were saying is we do have the culture, so we can gradually move on, step forward. Dr.
Even this happened when I visit the factories.
Okay.
I visit the factories. I have the I give the alternative. You want to base production with efficient with use the IoT, but you have to maybe you will reduce the workforce in the next year because you replace the machine. You replace the people with the machine. So not need many people interact with this machine, right?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sumitra. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have our live question. This is from Ihsan Rifaldi. Ihsan Rifaldi, please state your institution and also to whom your question is addressed for.
I can hear you. Please
unmute your.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
My name is Ihsan Rifaldi. I'm a student at Universitas Komputer Indonesia. I want to ask for all Mr. from Abdul Karim and Mr. Irfan Dwiguna. The role of ICT in life is analogous to two blades of a knife. It might be highly useful, but also harmful if misused, particularly in the user's privacy. How do you believe ICT can provide data security and privacy information to its users, given that it is utilized in many aspects of life? Is it this necessary to limit the use of ICT to ensure data security, considering that there is no system is safe in internet security? Thank you.
Please, Doctor.
Yes.
This is about security in many aspects of life.
Mr. Hassan Rifali for this question. Of course, what you mentioned is really a big problem and concern for every user actually using ICT, right? So security is still, okay, despite the progress and the development we have, the security still actually is a room, okay, or opportunity to actually study, research, and actually try to improve this, right? But I believe that despite this issue, this does not stop us actually to think about if I take this question, right, toward SDG, because maybe Dr. Erfan will take it about industrial IoT, right? But this actually, since my topic is about SDGs, right? So here, of course, I said that the use of ICT, okay, should not be, okay, a problem, okay, if, for example, we still have the issue of the security, right? But what we can do is actually to try to, I would say, to use the ICT in this sense that the security, okay, or the sensitivity of the information should be less. For sensitivity issues and let's say discussion, I think you can bring this to face-to-face discussion, right? To avoid, for example, the people who may actually steal the information or the data or the research, maybe, right? So in shortly, okay, my answer is the following. The security issue can be actually solved, okay, by not sharing the very sensitive information or research or ideas or programs or money, okay, and try to actually make it like for a private face-to-face session. I don't know whether Mr. Ihsan actually agree with me or whether he understood what I said.
How's that, Mas Ihsan?
Yeah, thank you for your answer.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. The second question is from Rudy Lasmana. Rudy Lasmana, please state your question. Please unmute. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Hello, my name is Rudy. I'm from management student. I have question to ask for Mr. Irfan. Broadly speaking, IoT can indeed be an effective and efficient solution, but indirectly, the role of IoT is slowly replacing the role of human resources. This raises the question of whether in the future there will be competition between human and machines, or whether incompetent user will just accept the situation.
Actually, I didn't get the point what the question is. Pardon me.
Could you repeat your question, Mas Rudy Lasmana?
Oh yeah.
In short, make it short.
Yeah.
Okay.
The voice has some echo, so it's not very clear. Okay, I so didn't understand exactly what the question. Maybe you can type in.
Maybe you can type it in the chat.
Okay.
While maybe Dr. Salman take another question. Later we come back to Mr. Roti.
I will type in.
Okay. Let's put the question in the chat box.
Okay, I think we will wait for Rudy to write, Professor.
No problem. I just in concern of the time. Never mind. We can wait.
Okay. I got the points of the question. As I said, if we implement, maybe I also have the years standard when the devices were grew up huge in the 2013, because maybe in that year the people have the awareness about the IoT, about the benefit or the profit of the IoT for their life. So the competition between human and machine, I think this is like do, do you ever see the Terminator movies?
I was going to say that.
Yeah, I think if the robotic they have any intelligent thinking, they have many sensors. They put with the sensor. I think the people in my imagination, the Terminator will be the real stress. So if we want to take over, if we want to outcome this, we have to improve our skill, right? Because if we don't have any skill, we can work in the maybe you work in the industry and your owner thinking, oh, I didn't use this people again because their capability is below the machine. Then maybe they have the slow production. They many time to spend just to chit chat with the others. They didn't have the production in this work, and they didn't have the contribution of this work. Maybe in the future they will replace the machine. They will replace the people, right? If you want to win the competition, you have to improve. You have to gain your skill, your capability. I think the first remove level in the industry, they will targeting the people with the daily use or daily operation. If you working as the operator or just the labor, maybe in the next year you will be removed from the factories. But if you working as maybe like the supervisor, maybe you have you have the specific skill, you can survive, right? So this is also the incompetent result, right? Because if you didn't have the high qualified skill, maybe you can survive, or you can win, or you can defeat the machine, right? Actually, Professor Abdul Karim just put the how to the people competition with the.
Yeah, this is actually a link to a video, right? Where the robot actually here the robot actually here grabs and breaks finger of 7-year-old opponent during a chess competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's between the human with the robot.
Yes. Just an example actually here, because the concern actually of the of Mr. Lesmana, okay, about whether the future actually we will replace all human activities by or with machines, right? Then what will be our role, right? So here actually the problem that we need to look at the example which I just posted here in the chat area about this problem, that we need to improve this. Means the robot at the end of the day is a machine, and machine doesn't have actually feeling, right? It's just doing what we ask, what we programming, right? And I think there is another example recently happened. I think I think in if I'm not sure, in Apple, okay, company, one researcher or one staff actually told that the robot actually can feel like a human and he can make decisions like a human. And then the management, I'm not sure is about Apple. I just remember this article, and the management actually fired this guy, fired the staff. Okay, because they said you cannot actually tell this. Okay, and the robots at the end of the day, it's this what you feel? I mean, that the robot actually can do something which is more than what we programming for it, which is not possible. I think you agree with this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think if I want to add to Arpan answer actually for Mr. Lesmana, I think there is no concern about this. There is no concern about this. Okay. Yes, machines are important to replace with some very like dangerous work, right? But when it comes for decision, like for example, can you tell me, is it possible for a robot to make a medical operation? Is it possible? Did you hear that now there is a make for example, heart opening operation? Right? You can program it, yes. But in a certain situation, actually, there must be a decision, and the decision is not programming there. Then this will be the end of the patient, right? Okay, thank you.
Interesting. Actually, if you watch Star Trek, you will find Lieutenant Commander Data, a robot with feelings. Isn't that so far away, Professor Al-Obaidi?
I hope this is
Never mind then.
but not in the reality.
It's actually the question how we use the technology, right? Is it whether we are using for our benefit or against other people, like what you mentioned. We can actually will be or probably we are witness of a robotic thief, right?
Okay.
Which for example is able to break in machine, okay, for dispensary of money without actually making any noise or or there is some technology, because it's all mechanical, so it is not possible to do it online, right? But yeah, it depends how we actually programming, right? How we do the programming.
Okay, how's that, Mas Rudi Lesmana?
I think that's enough. Thank you, sir. Mr. Irfan, Mr. Abdul Karim. Thank you so much.
Okay. For the third question, please raise your hands so I can see it from here.
It's a live question again.
Okay, perhaps due to our limited of time, we will have to end this interesting session of question and answer. And actually, it's my duty now to give you a summary. So Professor Al-Obaidi have already mentioned about something about sustainable development. How can we cope with the problem, safely coexist in the planet Earth for a long period of time, and perhaps you means forever. To do so, we have to do some sustainable development, which deals with very, very complicated aspects of social aspects, environmental, and also economic problems. So to overcome the problem, we need some other means to fulfill, to take care of those problems for us. So we trust in the artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence offers several things cannot be done by human. So we will use it to make a step forward. And Pak Irfan Dwi Guna Sumitra has provided us with Internet of Things explanation to prepare for us Internet of Things as a means to solve the problem, and also the strategies to make a smart manufacturing and also the factories of the future. And he also provides the means to solve this by encouraging the students to make a final project considering this matter. So I think this is all for our interesting and fruitful session of today. And I will turn it back again to you, Dr. Tawami.
Thank you very much, Dr. Maratana. This was a very engaging, very engaging discussion. But that's not all, because we still have some research posters related to the topics of today's conference, and I want you all to enjoy the posters. Okay, please enjoy the posters exhibition. Well, ladies and gentlemen, please be patient. We still have one more interesting agenda. We have listened to the plenary discussion and also poster exhibition, and I believe we enjoyed them a lot. But I'd like to have a big favor from our keynote speakers. Please, later after the announcement of the best paper and best posters, please be kind to select 2 best questioners, okay? Because they are going to receive some rewards from the committee, okay? Now I'm going to announce, here I have in my hand, fresh from the oven, from the committee, I'm going to announce the best paper announcement, right? Okay, I'm going to announce, so for those whose names are spelled out, please use the feature of raise hand so we can see which one of you is winning the best paper. Okay, the third best paper, okay, the third best paper goes to, okay, and you will also receive some rewards such shopping voucher. Okay, a third best paper goes to okay, Muhammad Rizky Firdaus, Budi Herdiana, and Rio Muhammad Iskandar, under the title Modeling of Antenna Open Half Lambda using Automatic Antenna Plotter Detector Testing at UHF Broadcast Frequency. Congratulations, and please give them a big round of applause. Okay, and you will also receive shopping voucher from UNIKOM Mart with the amount of 200,000 rupiah. Okay, you can all take. Okay, congratulations once again. Okay, congratulations once again. Now we are moving on to our second best paper. Okay, second best paper goes to, this one is 4 persons. Okay, okay, the second best paper goes to Dia Rifki Taufikur Rahman, Fernando Sitanggang, Fania Reta Lutfia Fitriani, and Muhammad Arya Raja Sapohan. Congratulations, under the title Odor Pollution Control using Fuzzy Logic Controller. Give them a big round of applause once again. Okay, congratulations. And you will also receive a shopping voucher amount of 250,000 rupiah. Okay, and now, okay, not to say the least about the other paper, we are going to the first best paper. Okay, written by two persons right here, and the first best paper goes to Adam Malik and Muhammad Arya Rajasa Pohan. Congratulations, okay, with the paper entitled The Development of a Path Planning Algorithm Combining the Rapidly Exploring Random Tree Algorithm and the Particle Swarm Optimization Algorithm. Congratulations. You will also receive a shopping voucher amounting of 300,000 rupiah, okay? This one is the, once again, give them a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. You can use your applause feature in your Zoom, okay? Now we are moving on to our next best poster, okay? Best poster. Best poster, the third best poster, okay, goes to the four persons right here. Anita Tri Octavia, Claudia Hanubun, Friska, Teresia BR Sembiring, and Lia Warlina. Congratulations, okay, for the third best poster, okay. And you will also receive, this is the poster, okay, under the title Social Media's Impact on Increasing Tourist Interest in Orchid Forest Cikole, Lembang District, Bandung Barat Regency, Indonesia, okay. You will also receive shopping voucher from UNIKOM, okay, amount of 200,000 rupiah, okay. Now we are moving on to our second best poster, okay. Second best poster goes to Okta Milenisa Putri Zosanti and Doni Waluya Firdaus under the title of the poster, Financial Inclusion and Utilization of E-commerce in Supporting MSME Performance. Okay, congratulations. Please give them a big round of applause. Okay. And you will also receive a shopping voucher from UNIKOM amount of 250,000 rupiah. And now, last but not least, okay, the first best poster goes to Anissa Kusuma Dewi and Sony Mulyawan Setiana. Congratulations with the poster entitled Designing an Android-based Educational Game to Increase Motivation in Learning Japanese Vocabulary. Okay, congratulations. And this is the poster. And you will also receive a shopping voucher amounted of 300,000 rupiah from UNIKOM. Okay, congratulations once again. Please give all the winners a big round of applause. Congratulations. Okay. Now I'd like to give the opportunity to Professor Abdul Karim as well as Pak Irfan Dwi Guna to select two best questioners. Okay, two best questioners, please.
Mr. Tatan.
Yeah.
Before we select this, I think I have good news for students who won the the best three papers. Okay. So as an editor-in-chief of Journal Engineering of Science and Technology,
okay,
I offer these three papers to be published in this journal for free. Every paper actually is, the fee is $375 US. So I actually offer to encourage students actually to do research. So I offer publication of these three papers for free in Journal of Engineering, Science and Technology.
Wow, that's extremely amazing.
Not only this,
thank you very much, Professor Abdul Karim. We are honored and of course happy at the same time because it's very encouraging for our students. Thank you very much.
Not only this, also for UNIKOM, to support UNIKOM and specifically this conference to maintain it every year, okay?
Yes.
So from this conference onward, the first three papers will be published in Gestic for free every conference you will have.
We couldn't thank you more for this. Okay,
Yes.
of course, this is
So this is just
very
a
encouraging
kind
for
of
our
support, okay, to your conference. And I hope that this conference will continue every year, okay, with more and more students. And also, I wish if you expand it to postgraduate students, master and PhD, and inshallah, later you can make it even international conference.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Professor Abdul Karim. This is more than a good news. This is the best news of the day, actually. Okay, thank you very much. It's very encouraging. So please be kind to select two best questioners, Dr. Irfan and Professor Abdul Karim.
Yes. So we need to take the questionnaire, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the chat. So because this questionnaire is about the, as I see, is about the poster, and not the question, the best question. Because it's in poster, to view the poster. Am I correct? Because here, if I click this.
Earlier we have 4 questioners, right? And we.
Yeah, we have. Okay, let me check. I'm sorry, Mr. Tatan, which link did you send the link?
I think the questionnaire is not.
No, actually,
the link is for the conference, not for the questionnaire. If I click it, it takes me to the conference.
Oh, Pak Salman perhaps can help me to remind you again who were the questioners before.
The first question was from Mas Aditya.
Okay.
The second from Fani. Third, Ihsan Rifaldi. And the last question came from Rudy Lasmana.
Can we nominate now?
Yeah, sure.
It is not a secret.
Select one and Pak Irfan select one.
Okay, I think we need to nominate first and second. Maybe Dr. Irfan will also select different one than which one you will select. So I think we can go for first, second, and third, and then maybe Dr. Irfan also go for first, second, third. Then we see which one is the best.
Okay.
What do you think?
Okay. You provide for 2 best questioners.
Okay, 2 best. Okay, so for me actually I nominate number 1 question from Mr. Lesmana, and the second one is from Mr. Ihsan.
Okay, from Mr. Lesmana and Mr. Ihsan.
Yes.
How about you, Dr. Irfan?
In my side, I truly choose the Miss Fanny.
Sorry?
Funny.
And then I agree with the Professor Abdul Karim, Mr. Ihsan for the second.
Ihsan. Okay. So I think we have the first winner. Okay. The first winner is
Ihsan Rifaldi.
Ihsan Rifaldi. Okay. You will receive a shopping voucher from UNIKOM. Big round of applause for Ihsan. And okay. The second best questioner goes to, this is a bit confusing.
I think they have to share.
They have to share, right? What about that? Because we have 3 best questioners. So share. Is it so?
I give to the Professor Abdul Karim to choose.
What about you, Professor Abdul Karim?
Okay, so we need to select the second one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one is already confirmed, Mr. Lesmana, right? So I propose Ihsan.
Okay.
Ihsan Rifaldi.
Yes.
Ihsan Rifaldi has already won, right? So
no.
Oh no, not yet.
Not now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Ihsan Rifaldi has already won the first place.
On the first place.
First place, then the second place is Mr. Lesmana.
Lesmana.
Okay.
Pak Irfan?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. Then we have our second winner. Okay. Mr. Rudy Lesmana is the second best questioner of today's conference. Okay. Thank you very much. You will also receive a voucher of 50,000 rupiah from UNIKOM. So in case you are wondering, the students, where are you going to take the voucher? You can visit our old building and visiting the Division of Journal and Publication. You can take your voucher in the Journal and Publication Division later after this session, of course. Okay. So once again, thank you very much. This is a very engaging and surprising from Professor Abdul Karim. We are more than happy to have this kind of situation, and I believe all the students will be more participating in the future international student conference in the future. So once again, thank you very much, Professor Abdul Karim.
My pleasure.
And Dr. Irfan Dwiguna. I believe more presenters are coming in the next International Student Conference in 2023. I think that will be all for today's conference. That wraps things up for today's conference. I am Tatan Tawami and my colleague
Salman Priyaji Martana.
Salman, signing off from today's conference. We hope to see you again in the next 2023 with more participation on the student side. Okay. Thank you very much.
Very much. Thank
Have
you.
a nice day.
Yeah.